Hey, it's Trey Bolin with Origin Stories. I'm super excited because I have my friend Alex here, and we're going to talk a little bit about his origin story, how he got started. So I'll let him kind of share a little bit of that, and then we'll ask some fun questions and see where it goes. So how did you get started doing what you do now?
Do you want the really long version or the kind of long version?
Well, this
Because
isn't a
there's,
super long show, so
okay, so I'll do the
I don't
abridged
want the
version.
whole
So,
show to be just this part.
yeah, 1 hour long. So, I was an international award winning hotel manager. At the height of my career, I moved to Hawaii on a one-way ticket, got the best job of my entire life, was about to make six figures as a 27-year-old, only to get the phone call on my very first day telling me you're laid off because of COVID.
Ugh.
And yeah, it was a big shock. And we were in Hawaii, brand new $2,000 a month rent payment right there on the beach. No income, no unemployment, no help. We had to figure it
Yeah,
out ourselves. So I started driving food delivery 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Still went into $25,000 in credit card debt. And I
because it's
finally
Hawaii.
got, because it's Hawaii and everything cost $1 million. And we thought like, oh, 2 weeks,
Exactly.
1 month. And so we were just like racking up the
Yeah,
credit card debt. Like we're going to get
exactly.
our jobs back. Things are going to go be fine. And then they weren't, and things got really
And what do you
tough and
do?
things got really hard. And what do you do? So what I did was I started posting videos in social media, or I started posting videos on social media in my car in between food deliveries.
Yeah.
And that's my origin story.
And that's how it
And
all
then
got started. And from
that's how it all
there,
got started.
now what are you doing now?
Well,
You just
now
were posting videos now.
I first started off in real estate. I didn't know
Hmm.
anybody in Hawaii. I ended up selling $3 million homes in Hawaii, all through social media, never paid for an advertisement, just all through social media. And then I started coaching other people because other real estate agents, it's COVID. You couldn't communicate, you couldn't go knock on doors, you
Yeah.
couldn't go to networking events. So they were like, how are you doing this on social media? So I started coaching people. I started an online coaching business where I coach people how to use TikTok and, how to create videos online essentially. I did that for about a year. And then I kind of morphed that into a full service digital marketing agency where we
Hmm.
did things like Google ads and Facebook ads and TikTok ads and help people launch online events and build websites and do SEO. And that lasted up a bit until about the beginning of this year. And then this year, amazing things happened. I ended
Yeah.
up becoming a multiple six-figure affiliate marketer. So now that's what I do full time. I am a full time affiliate marketer and still doing a lot of the same things I was doing before. We're still coaching people, we're still helping people on social media. But now I'm lucky enough, I don't have to actually service any clients. I
Yeah.
can make money through the recommendations and the referrals that I do through affiliate marketing. So,
So it kind of feels like this is the epitome of the dream, right? Where
oh,
like
100%.
things just kind of happened and then boom, now you're six-figure affiliate. So do you think there were shortcuts that you were able to take to get you to here? Was it just like dumb luck? Or were there
Mm,
strategic things that you did? Do you want to tell secrets? You don't have to.
no, no, no. I'm a total open book. When I was driving food delivery 14 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day. Sometimes it was 14 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I was on the bed with my girlfriend in Hawaii and we had $500 in our bank account.
Hmm.
And I said, if we ever get out of this, because I had no idea how it was ever going to happen, I said, we're going to go out there and we're going to help other people because we really need help right now. We got help. We ended up
Yeah.
paying rent that month, actually through a charity, a Catholic charity, helped us pay our rent that month because there was this COVID relief and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are no shortcuts. I've done over
Mhm.
2,000 one-on-one meetings. I've hosted,
Mhm.
30 online events a week for the last 3 years. I've
Mhm.
posted over 5,000 videos to social media. I had no experience coming into this. I was a lackadaisical hotel manager.
Yeah.
And I just knew if I could grind it out and I could just do, a lot, literally a lot every day for a long period of time,
Mhm.
something would happen. And that's truly my story is like I took a massive action. And then there
Yep.
was one thing in that massive action that was a breakthrough. And that's happened to me
Mhm.
happened to me in real estate, that happened to me through the coaching business, through the marketing agency, and then through affiliate marketing. It was always I did a ton, and there was one effort within all of that effort that I could never expect. And honestly, by the grace of God, it
Yeah.
happened for me. And many of these things, like how I sold my first house in real estate, it wasn't even like improbable or
Mhm.
impossible. It was absurd. Like
Yeah.
how it happened was just a complete absurdity. Like it could
Exactly.
not happen, but it did happen. And I honestly, it is just like a miracle.
I think that's what I was curious about. because a lot of people are like, oh, do these things and then this will definitely happen. And I don't know that that's actually true. I don't know that there's a shortcut to success. I think that it does take, like you're saying, massive action, a ton of work. And when we see these overnight sensations, it's not really true because there was like 10 years of work, or maybe 10 years in 3 years, like you were doing, cramming it all in, because you reap what you sow. And if you're sowing like 3 seeds, you can't expect something to randomly happen. You've got to sow a ton of seeds.
Yeah. You got to give a lot of people a lot of value over a really long period of time. And then maybe, just maybe, they'll, work with you. And then I'd also want to say this too, positioning. Like this never really made sense to me. Like, what is positioning? But like, you have to put yourself in the position to get, if that's your goal, to get a lot of money, you have to put yourself in the position for that to even happen. Like, you're never going to get paid $50,000 unless there's a link that allows you, like a payment link that allows you to receive $50,000, or you need to be part of a business model that could actually grow to that amount of money. There's a lot of coaches or people in companies, or they're starting the business and they maybe want to get to a certain amount of money, but if they actually crunch the numbers or how much time it would take or how much effort they would have to exert, it's literally impossible to make their goals happen with the business model that they have.
So what do you recommend?
Offers that they,
what do you think is the pivotal thing to help people take it to the next level?
I mean, it's a business model. Like, you can be an affiliate of companies, businesses that can make you a lot of money. So I was an affiliate of essentially an enterprise level business. They did a sale for millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I was the middleman on it. Okay.
Right.
And so I could never sell a product for millions and millions of dollars. There's nothing that I could do. There's no course I could create. There's no, right? Yeah. But I got in between. I positioned myself in between two businesses that could do those things. And that's where the flow, that came from, was I put myself in the position to win, to have a big win. Or with real estate, right? Like, my first home sale was $1.42 million. I made more money in my first sale than I made the entire previous year. Right? So when you're a real estate agent, well, there's that possibility that you could sell a home for $1 million or $2 million or $5 million, and you could get paid a large lump sum of money. Right? Or maybe you're in another thing is like network marketing, right? Like, that's something that at least there's the possibility of it happening. Right? Is it probable? Maybe not, but there is a possibility that you could make a lot of money with that business model. Some business models, you'll never make a lot of money. If you sell your time for dollars, there's a cap on that. Now, you can raise the amount of dollars that people pay you, but still there's a cap on that.
So I think that's super interesting because your viewpoint of network marketing is positive, where I feel like the vast majority of people, I actually made a post about network marketing and got a ton of negative comments. And I was like, whoa, I love network marketing. My mom has sold Pampered Chef for 30 years and has done super well and loved her job. And we went on trips and it like funded our weddings and was amazing. And I think it really gets a bad rap from some people and can sometimes appear scammy. But I think the interesting thing is it's only scammy if you make it scammy. If you're a sleazeball trying to do it, then it's going to come off as sleazy and bad. And so I think it's really interesting that your perspective is, no, actually, this could be a vehicle to help you get to where you want to go,
100%. Yeah, I mean, in network marketing, I'm not saying I endorse every network marketing company or every network marketing company. Of course not. Like, not every business is good. And there are some legitimate complaints about network marketing, right? Like, my mom had Pampered Chef scissors growing up. They were the best scissors in the home, was the Pampered Chef scissors. Like, if you wanted to cut something open, you had to get the Pampered Chef scissors, okay? And there are some negatives. I mean, we won't dive into this, and not a podcast on network marketing, but I mean, at least, like I said, at least that's a business model where you could make a lot of money doing it if that was your goal, right? You could build a big team, you could create passive income, you could live that lifestyle. But most people aren't just like thinking the business model through. And like, if I did make $1 million in my agency, like, I thought about that as like, if I ran a digital marketing agency and I wanted to make $1 million a year, like, what would that look like? And my life would be horrible. I would not like it. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I think as I was on my entrepreneur journey, going from being a creator of headbands and knit items, I was knitting 12 hours a day, blew out my wrist, could not keep up with the orders, did end up hiring grannies to help me with the knitting, but I couldn't, it's hard to scale that. How do you
Right.
scale something that's like this art? And just like with photography, you've got to find someone that's willing to pay you for your art at this rate. And finding that is really challenging. And I think it's interesting to think about, if you want to be a millionaire, what do you have to do to get there? I mean, not that money was your ultimate goal, but thinking about, is this scalable? Is this duplicatable? How can I keep doing this, or shifting and pivoting? How do you think the shift and pivot ability helped you? Because I think some people get stuck in this is what I do. I've become this,
Yeah. I mean, I was forced to pivot through the pandemic, right? And it was just
Yeah.
kind of a constant, I just have to pivot. Like, I was stuck. I was like, I'm just going to drive food delivery. I want to go back to my hotel job. And then I realized that job opportunity, that career path, it's over. So I have to pivot. And I was a hiking expert. I was a food delivery driver. I flipped furniture on Facebook. I did a lot of different things. And I used to be seriously like the lazy hotel manager. Like, I just had to grow up and just like, okay, well, I can work hard. My parents work very hard, right? I knew I could work hard, but I never really liked working that hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I literally was just like rocked in a hard place. I got to. No one's coming to save me. And yeah, pivoting was key. I mean, as I learned, so I got into online business networking, and I started just to ask people questions like, what are you doing for your business? How do you do that? And I was the guy who like joined. This is kind of funny. I don't know if I've told this before on a podcast, but when I first joined online business networking, I found out about network marketing. And I got the whole thing about, this is easy. You just got to, all you have to do is share. And I was a part of 6 different network marketing companies at once. Okay. And I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire. Okay. Ended up leaving them all. None of them were none of them really connected with me, but I saw that. And I always really respected the business model and said, that's a really good vehicle, but I never really connected with any company in particular.
Yeah.
But I always said, oh, wow, that's a really good, way to do it. But there are some of the things I'll talk about that on different time. But yeah, pivoting is so key. And as I learn things, I'm constantly like, adding things on. The lifetime learner, right? You always got to be learning and advancing, especially, the trope in the age of AI. But no, really, I mean, you really just do have to continuously be adding things to your arsenal, but you don't have to do it all in a day, right? My entrepreneurial journey has been 3 years, almost 4 years now, and putting in effort every single day, like literally every day. That's kind of my thing, is like, for me, just on a psychological level, I have to do it every day. Because if I give myself any out, well, I'll take it out. I'll take the out every time. Like, every time I'll take it. So I need to fill my calendar. I need to occupy my time. I need to do it every day, because that creates something in me, a commitment level in me, and a passion and excitement. And then I also see the effort. Like, when the bar, I always say, when the graph goes up, when the bar goes up, when the views go up, the money goes up, then I'm like, okay, that's very good. And when I take time off, the bar goes down, and that doesn't feel so good.
Right. Well, and that's the entrepreneur journey, right? Like, my parents, both entrepreneurs. My dad has owned his own business for 50 years, and it was a daily task that you have to do. If you don't show up, you're not making the money. And of course, it's a little bit different in a local business, not an online entity, but it's still the same. You get what you give. Figuratively, literally, probably spiritually, emotionally, mentally too. It's all that cycle. You reap what you sow is definitely true. But if we take time off from our jobs, then who's doing it?
Yeah.
That's
a really good point. The psychological, because I think like you have something that's your center of focus, right? And when you really make it your center of focus and it's your passion, you're obsessed. They always talk about, be obsessed with it. Well, that's because you're putting a certain amount of energy into that. And when you put a certain amount of focus, then you start to not think about just that. Everything starts to almost fall into alignment with that. And you start to see solutions that you wouldn't have seen before because of the level of focus and the dedication. So I do a presentation on something called the Great Discovery every single day. Literally 6 days a week, I'm doing a 30-minute presentation on it. And I do it every day because I want to talk about it every day. I want that to be my focus every day. And that presentation has evolved so much from my first presentation, because I'm coming back and I'm re-examining it every day in kind of an intense way, right? So I think that's such a good point. It's like, it's not just like, oh, we want to work on it every day. but I want to give it that attention every day, because when I give it that attention, well, then other things will start to open up around it that I maybe wouldn't have seen if I wasn't focusing on it.
Exactly. And that whole like 10,000 hours makes you the
Mm-hmm.
expert. But if you keep
Mm-hmm.
doing that thing over and over and over again with new insights, not just robotically, then
Yep.
you're able to, like you're saying, grow it, change it, evolve it, help it to even become something different, which is really exciting. And I think that's what I love about being an entrepreneur is that I have done 5 different things so far, and I'm working on a 6th, where we're always thinking of something new and different. And that's not bad. Where before I was told the riches are found in the niches, or reaches and niches, whatever you want to say it. But that was the magic. And I actually
Right.
don't think that is. I think part of the magic too is being ready for the pivot, ready for the next thing, and being willing to evolve if you need to. And I think sometimes why things don't work is because people aren't willing to make the changes that are necessary to actually produce that growth that they're looking for.
So true. So true. I mean, like, also part of my story is, when you see an opportunity, you have to be in the position to take the opportunity. Having that
Mm-hmm.
freedom in your schedule and your time, in being able to pivot and to do something different and to move to a new place, or to, free up your time when a new opportunity arises, like, that is key. I mean, that's been really key for me. Like, every opportunity, like, I was able to drop everything I was doing to go take out those real estate clients to go look at homes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I could be there at a drop of a hat, or, starting the new agency, right? Like, I could stop the coaching, but if I had all these obligations and I put myself in a corner and limited the amount of options that I had, well, then I wouldn't be able to maybe do this other thing. So for me, it is like that time flexibility, being able to like cut the cord and be like, I'm doing something different. But if we made all these
Yeah.
obligations and we have all these debts and all these, promises and all of these like things that are strapping us down, well, then we can't pivot. So that's also
Yeah.
positioning too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we become immovable, and then we become stuck,
Yeah.
and I think this is what I think is exciting about being an entrepreneur right now in this time, is that there's just so many more possibilities, and
Totally.
I think that I'm not going to say our generation because we're not in the same generation, even though I'm pretending we are. But I think the next generation is excited by how we can make changes in the workforce, how we can work smarter, not harder, how we're able to pursue our dreams in maybe a way that we weren't able to in the past, because there's just more opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think there's more opportunities because we're creating them. I don't
Totally.
actually
Wow.
think that the opportunities weren't there before. I just think there's new, fresh eyes on it, and we're actually creating more opportunities for ourselves.
Well, one of the things that my parents said to me that I was like, wow, that's kind of like a breakthrough, is my parents are like, we don't even think like you think. Like,
Yeah.
what you've done, like, we never even thought that was a possibility for our lives. And then even this online business, like hopping on Zoom, doing business through Zoom,
Yeah.
that's only been available like in the last maybe 5 years. And then you have things like Stripe and these website builders that allowed you to do we take it for advantage, or we take it, we take it for granted. Um, this is a completely new career option. It's never been available. We're literally on
Right.
the cutting edge of online business, creating an online
Yeah.
business. And, I really think the future is all these people kind of operating, as these, this gig economy, solopreneur, entrepreneur
Hmm.
thing, but being able to collaborate
Yes.
through these kind of online networks, right? And being able to opt in and opt out of collaboration, while maintaining your own thing, but
Hmm.
still being able
Yeah.
to like, collaborate on a macro level. So
Yeah. I think that's the beauty of it, is that if we can work together for something, then I mean that whole like team together, everyone achieves more, is
mhm.
still true, right? It was true in
Yeah.
the 80s, probably when they first said it, and it's true now. It just looks different. Like
Mhm.
that, the trueness of the phrase didn't change, but how it's being applied is changed, and I think that's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So as we're kind of wrapping up, I'm so glad all the things that you had to share were really amazing. But I just had one question to ask you that I love to ask everybody. If you could give advice to anybody that's in your spot where you have the $500 on the bed, what would you say to them?
What would I say to them? I would say, one, there are breakthroughs. There's miracles that totally happen. things happen. It's the least, it's something you never expect. When I moved on a one-way ticket to Hawaii with my girlfriend, I just said, it's going to be bigger and better than you can ever imagine. The thing that will happen. And so you have to be open. I mean, that's a real key to me. I have a high level of openness. I'm willing to respond to that random message on social media and follow it down the trail. I'm willing to see the new experience, try the new thing, take a chance, go out there on a limb, burn the boats, right? And just like go all in. And like you do have to give every single part of yourself, every single, it's going to be so hard. You're going to grind, but I'm not afraid to grind. I'm not afraid to work really hard and just take it day by day, wake up, schedule it out. Like I live and die by the Google Calendar that keeps me accountable. And you just got to plug away. I mean, you just got to plug away every day. And then things will happen that you cannot plan for it. Every big breakthrough in my life, no way I could have predicted it ever. But it just took that massive action, took that massive effort, believing that things will happen for me, believing that God has a plan for me, truly. When we moved to Hawaii and we got laid off, and I said, I know we're here for a reason.
Yeah.
When we moved there on a one-way ticket, only one person messaged us back about an apartment. We went downtown to downtown Honolulu. We went up to the 20th floor and we looked, and it was apartment 2020. And so we moved into apartment 2020 on December 20th of 2019 and spent all of 2020 in apartment 2020. That wasn't planned. Yeah. We could have never said before we were moving to Hawaii, let me put all my ducks in a row and let me move into apartment 2020 with an ocean view and all this stuff.
Yeah.
We just took the leap. We had the faith. We said, no matter how hard it is, we're going to see it through. We're going to take, we're going to live our dreams, right? We're not going to not live our dreams because we're afraid to do it and afraid of the failure of it. If things fail and things go really bad and things go horrible, we'll figure it out. Everything always figures itself out. I really, sort of believe that too. So I just say things can happen, miracle, not even a miracle, absurd things can happen. Things you thought could never happen will happen.
That is a miracle. That's the definition of a miracle, is something that only God could do. And I feel like I've had so many instances of that, and I'm just so encouraged that you've seen it too. And something that I'm always afraid of is that I will give up before it happens.
Totally. Yeah, that's a big fear of mine
too.
Somebody
keep going.
Somebody said this. It's like God will do whatever he does, but you have to do all that you can do first, right? If you really give all of yourself and you really give all of your effort and, and that's recognized and that's seen and you're really putting everything into it, then the doors open up. Then things start to happen. Then the miracles start happening because you need that supernatural strength to start to get through and to break through. And then it will happen, right?
Yeah. I think that's so interesting because the door can't open if you're not pushing on the handle, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's just different things. You have to be in a room with a door, all of that. Right. There's not just oh, this is gonna, right. There's always something working behind the scenes. So super cool. I love this conversation. I'd love to know where people can find you. Of course, I'm going to drop it in the description, but just where is a good place for people to get connected with you?
You can just, I'm on social media, so you can just Google Alex Hitt, ALEXHITT.com. It's the same thing as my website. Website is ALEXHITT.com. We'll see you there.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.